Hey guys, so Halloween has rolled around, and seeing as everyone's getting in the spirit of spookiness, I thought, what could be scarier than a bad game? Eh?
Anubis II. Can I not review this game and say that I did? No? Fine. This is one of the most hated games for the Wii, and every review I've watched about it has told me the same thing. It's crap. But is it really that bad? I guess I'm about to find out. The story, if you bothered looking at the back of the box, talks about how an evil spirit called Mumhotep has covered the land of Egypt in darkness, and so the gods employed Anubis to save it. Not much deeper than a Mario game storyline, but hey, I don't play games solely for the story. What about the gameplay? Spoiler alert, it's bad. The gameplay has you running around 5 linear levels, yes, only 5, where you'll hunt for 8 golden pyramids, which will unlock a portal leading to the next level. Oh, and when I say the levels are linear, I mean it. Most of the golden pyramids are directly located on your path to the portal. As you go through the levels, you'll have to make use of this game's crappy motion controls. To jump, you'll flick the nunchuck up once, and then again for a double jump. The problem is that it could be either over or under sensitive. Plus, with the analog stick being on the nunchuck, it could make jumping from place to place rather awkward, and it doesn't help that Anubis moves really fast. Thankfully, you can use the Z button on the nunchuck as an alternative, which they neglect to tell you. Despite the fact that most people seem to complain the most about the jumping controls, my major problem lay with the combat controls. You'll come across swarms of enemies during your, adventure, and I mean swarms. They're everywhere. Now, I love a good fight, so normally I'd welcome this, but the combat controls are either so bad or so tedious that it kinda sucked any fun I could have had with battle down a huge toilet. Now to attack, you just swing your Wiimote. Simple, right? Unfortunately, it often doesn't even register as a hit to the enemy. And sometimes when Anubis would take damage, he would just stand there motionless, despite me flailing the Wiimote around like a maniac. You can also shoot balls of energy from your scepter, which, for me, was the best way to take down enemies. The aiming reticle was rather buggy with its auto-targeting, but it was a heck of a lot easier than trying to take down your enemies with melee attacks. Your only other weapons are the bombs, which, while effective, won't do much unless you get a direct hit on the enemy. Steering away from the combat, there are certain pillars that have you wave the Wiimote around the air in a circle. But unless you do it slowly, the game will think it's an attack swing. And even when you take your time, there's still no guarantee it'll work correctly. That's right, Anubis. You show that stationary, inanimate pillar who's boss. Next, there's the camera. I didn't have as big a problem with it as other people did, but it was still a pain. You controlled it using the D-pad on the Wiimote. Sounds easy enough, except you can only center the camera to look where Anubis is facing or make it move closer or farther away from him. If you wanted to just rotate the camera a bit, you had to use your aiming reticle, which felt pretty clumsy. As far as replay value goes, there's some bonus levels and a few extra game modes to play in, but I didn't really bother with these. Oddly enough, I didn't find this game that aggravating to play. I managed to make it through most of the game without getting too frustrated, though that may be due to me spamming the energy ball attack. Still, this game is pretty crappy, and you shouldn't consider giving it to anyone as a gift unless you're trying to tick them off. I give this game a poop sandwich out of 10.
In the credits section, you will find a list of all the talented people at Data Design Interactive who made Anubis II. Yeah, talented is definitely the word for it. But in all honesty, this game wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. And frankly, I'm a little disappointed. Disappointed that the game wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. If you guys will excuse me, I have to go rethink my life now. But before I go, happy Halloween.